Hello, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby and it's October! Oh, I'm so excited. It's my favorite month of the year. Let's freaking go. I am ready for the spooky season. I am ready for the fall vibes. I am just here. This is what we fight for. This is what I live for. And I have so much exciting things happening in the month of October, and so stick around for not only my TBR for this month, but also my camp Weekend-ween TBR possibly, and also an exciting announcement that involves a lot of other booktubers. I am so excited. Let's go. Before we do jump into the video and all of the things, I wanted to say a huge thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. Book of the Month is a super popular and fast-growing online book service for readers. Their mission is to promote new and emerging authors and help readers discover books that they love. How this works is their team goes out and vets the hundreds of new releases that come out every month, and they pick the top 5 that they think their readers will be the most interested in. And it's great for us because we can spend more time reading and less time researching all the new releases. Book of the Month is risk-free because you can skip any month with no penalty, but I guarantee you're not going to want to skip any month because almost all of the times they will have one of my most anticipated books of the year as one of the 5 selections, and I just get very, very overly excited. It's honestly like one of the highlights of the month for me to see which books are going to be the Book of the Month selections. Like, is it just me? You feel me? Plus they have the best prices for new hardcover fiction books, because if you walk into any bookstore and you go and get a new hardcover fiction book, you're probably going to find it there for like $26 to $28. But this month when you use my code gabbyreads, you can get your first book for just $9.99. I can't even believe how much of a steal that is. Like, that is cheaper than most paperbacks these days. It is just wild. Really good price. So what even are the 5 selections for the month of October? I'm so glad you asked. The first selection is going to be the one that I probably personally would have chosen myself because it's the thriller selection for this month, and that is Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Bart. This one is an early release, and the description just says, pushed out of her hometown after high school, a woman returns to solve the riddle of her family and a horrific crime. It's really great too because if you didn't know, on the Book of the Month app, they have like a really quick, like 2-sentence synopsis of the book so you can immediately see what it's about and if it's going to be your thing, which I find super helpful. And then we have The Lincoln Highway. This one is historical fiction and it's a repeat author. This one says, in this 1950s set novel, shenanigans ensue when Emmett Watson hits the open road with 2 friends and a brother in tow. And then we have The Ex-Hex, which is a romance novel, which seems like it would be absolutely perfect to read at this time of year, by the way. And it says, break out the candy corn. This quirky, steamy rom-com about a major post-breakup hex will put a powerful spell on you. That is so cute. Oh my gosh. Like, honestly, if I get in the romance mood in October, this is gonna be it. And then we have Harlem Shuffle by Colson Whitehead. This one is a literary fiction novel, and honestly, this cover is so beautiful. Like, I love these colors all like this. A riveting historical heist story from a contemporary master that will leave you feeling in on the deal. And then lastly, this last pick is one that I'm really excited about, and I've honestly never even heard of this before, and it's called The Perishing. Isn't this cover just so cool? Oh my gosh. This one is an early release, and it's speculative fiction. It says, set in a hazy 1930s LA, this genre-bending tale of a pioneering journalist explores shifts in time, identity, and love. What in the world? That sounds so cool. And I'm just a huge fan of this cover. I don't know, it's just absolutely stunning. It's my favorite colors, and wow, amazing. So these are the 5 selections for the month of October. You can select any of these 5 for this month. Book of the Month was also kind enough to send me 2 add-ons, and if you didn't know, Book of the Month frequently will have add-ons to choose from as well. So not only can you select like one of the 5 books of the month, but you can also add on other books that were never selections for the month, which is also really cool. Like, for example, Apples Never Fall is one of the add-ons this month, which is super cool because, you know, this is the same author as Big Little Lies. And this is, you know, her latest, like, contemporary family drama kind of story. I am very excited to read this one. And then they also sent The Book of Magic by Alice Hoffman. And this one just says, the final installment in the Practical Magic series is a whirlwind journey of magic, curses, and familial love. So freaking awesome that Book of the Month does a bunch of add-ons like this as well. Like, it just gives you so many different options to choose from. Yeah, thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get on to the exciting announcements. Alright, so before I do jump into my TBR and my Camp Weekend-ween TBR, I do have an exciting announcement about this live show that I'm going to be doing with a bunch of other booktubers on my channel. and I wanted you to hear it here first because I'm so excited. This is something that I've had in the works for a very long time, and I've been putting it all together for a very long time, and I'm just very excited about it. This Friday night on October 8th, starting at 4 p.m. PST, I'm going to be hosting a ginormous horror book recommendations live show with 10 of your favorite horror booktubers, or at least booktubers who read a lot of horror. And I'm so excited for this because last year I actually hosted a live show like this on my channel that was for thriller recommendations, and I had 10 other booktubers come onto my channel and recommend a bunch of thriller books, and so I'm so excited to do that kind of thing again with a bunch of horror booktubers who know a ton of different horror recommendations. And honestly, like, I'm really excited for this because I'm still kind of new to horror, you know, so I'm just really excited to get a bunch of recommendations from this live show because these are all horror content creators that I watch all the time on YouTube, and I feel like a lot of them have some very unique and really cool recommendations, and they're just like a bunch of really cool people in general, so I'm so excited to have all of these people on my channel and to discuss horror books. And yeah, I will have everyone who's going to be in that live show linked down below so you can go and check them out beforehand and go and subscribe to their channels. But I think it's going to be really fun, and I'm going to get the chance to talk to some people who I've never really talked with face to face before, and it's just gonna be a really great time, I think. So mark it on your calendars. It's happening October 8th at 4 p.m. PST will be the first hour, and then 5 p.m. PST will be the second hour with 5 other. I can only have 5 on at a time because of StreamYard, you know. The format for the show is just gonna be, you know, me asking of like their all-time favorite horror books, and then during the live show you can ask for specific things that you want in horror, like specific horror recommendations, and we can give them to you live. And I just think it'll be so much fun. Next thing is the book troupe. So if you didn't know, I have a thriller book club called the Book Troupe, and in this month for October we are reading The Last House on Needless Street. And this is one that I'm so freaking excited to read because it just sounds like it's gonna be really spooky. The description for this book just says, "This is the story of a serial killer, a stolen child, revenge, death, and an ordinary house at the end of an ordinary street. All these things are true, and yet they're all lies. You think you know what's inside the last house on Needless Street? You think you've read this story before. That's where you're wrong. In the dark forest at the end of Needless Street lies something buried, but it's not what you think." Like, isn't that the most ominous, like, creepy description of a book ever? Like, I'm obsessed with it. So we're gonna be reading this in the month of October, and the live show will be happening towards the end of October or maybe early November. But the live show for this month is going to be with Kayla from Books and Lala, who is one of my favorite people here on the interwebs. And I'm just so excited to finally have her on as a co-host for the book troupe. Like, it's a huge honor. I'm such a fan of her channel, and I'm just so excited to discuss this book with her because I'm hoping it's like the exact kind of weird that we both enjoy in books. So fingers crossed that we both enjoy this one and have the best time. And then if you didn't hear from my book troupe announcement video, in the month of November we will be reading False Witness by Karen Slaughter, and you know, pray for us all because I have a feeling that book is going to be heavy and it's going to be a lot, but I also think it's going to be amazing. I'm hoping it'll be one of my favorite thrillers of the year. On to my October TBR plans. In the month of October, I already kind of told you at the end of last month that I'm starting this month with another round of reading your horror recommendations, and for that video I wanted to keep most of my TBR a surprise, but I kind of already did tell you in the last round of that I did that I will be reading Tender as the Flesh in this round, which I'm very excited about because I've been recommended this book constantly for like over a year now. I've actually had this book in my possession for a while now, but I've been waiting for the opportunity to read it for something like this, so I'm glad that so many people have recommended me this book. Like, this was by far the book that got recommended to me the most out of any horror books on that list, so very excited for this one. And I'll also give you a sneak peek at one of the other books that I'm reading for that video, and it's gonna be The Good House. And yeah, very excited for this one. This one has, I've been told it's like a classic like haunted house kind of story, or at least this one pops up on every like haunted house book recommendations list. So for that reason alone, very excited to read this one. I'm also hoping and praying that this will be the October that I get to House of Leaves. I've had this book on my TBR for so freaking long, and for the last like 2 Octobers, I'm pretty sure I've told myself like, okay, this is the time that I'm reading House of Leaves. And then something has happened the last 2 Octobers that made me like fall into a really bad reading slump, and I just couldn't for the life of me get through it. But I am still planning to read this book this October. I'm planning on reading this one hopefully like mid-October or maybe towards the end of the month. But I'm really excited for this, and if I do end up reading this book, I do plan on vlogging my experience reading this book, so hopefully it happens. Like, we're just gonna hope and pray to the gods that it happens this month, that the stars align. I mean, really, I just have to like actually make the time to do it, you know? I don't imagine I'll be able to get through this book very quickly because it's just so massive, but this book's also told in like multimedia kind of. It's like, it's very strange, you know? And then some other books that I do have on my TBR this month that I would like to get to is White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson and The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry. I was thinking I might do some kind of like 48-hour, you know, readathon vlog or something with just these two books maybe. I don't know though, there's a couple like young adult kind of horror stuff that I want to read. I'm pretty sure these are both young adult. I could be wrong actually, I don't know. But both of these just sound so interesting. I know for sure White Smoke is like, it says it's Get Out meets The Haunting of Hill House, and so like for that reason alone, I'm definitely gonna be reading this one this month. And I also put the audiobook on hold at my library for The Ghost Tree, and so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get to it this month. It says this is a chilling horror novel set in a small town where residents are going missing and the only clue to their fate is one teenager's terrifying vision. Another audiobook that I have on hold at my library that I just got checked out right now is The Girls Are Never Gone, and this is one that I'm excited to read because it's been compared to The Conjuring, and so all three of these books, it would be fun to include in a reading vlog like all together maybe, but I don't know yet. Another book that's coming out in the month of October that I would like to read is The Mother Next Door. This one is a thriller that's going on sale on the 12th, and this one I've seen pop up on a lot of like Halloween reading recommendation lists because I'm pretty sure some of this book takes place on Halloween, and it follows like this group of moms in the suburbs, and it's like gossipy, and it's kind of like my favorite tropes in thrillers I think are in this book, so I definitely want to check this one out. Another book that's coming out in October that I want to check out is Nothing But Blackened Teeth. This one is a novella and it's coming out on October 19th, but the premise of this just sounds so crazy. The cover of this is absolutely terrifying, by the way. Like, just looking at it like gives me chills. Like, what is up with that face? So it says it's a gorgeously creepy haunted house tale steeped in Japanese folklore and full of devastating twists. So there's a mansion that stands abandoned, its foundations resting on the bones of a bride and its walls packed with the remains of the girl's sacrifice to keep her company. It's the perfect wedding venue for a group of thrill-seeking friends, but a night of food, drinks, and games quickly spirals into a nightmare. For lurking in the shadows is the ghost bride with a black smile and a hungry heart, and she gets lonely down there in the dirt. Oh my god, this is gonna be so crazy. Yeah, I definitely want to plan to read this one. You know, maybe I'll read this one during Camp Weekend-ween, like, I don't know. I do think for real though, out of all of these Book of the Month selections this month, the ones I'm most likely to pick up are probably the X-Hex if I get in a mood for romance, like if I need a break from all of the spooky books that I'm reading this month. This one does seem like it would be absolutely perfect to read this month because it looks like it would be like October vibes anyways. And then also, you know, the thriller pick, Everything We Didn't Say. But also, this one, like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to this in October just because it doesn't sound like it matches my spooky aesthetic for this month, but in November, I might definitely be picking this one up because it sounds so interesting and I'm genuinely really curious about this one. Camp Weekend-ween TBR goes, that's the next thing that I wanted to talk about. And look at how cute, by the way, my crew neck finally came in the mail and all the shirts that I got, and they're just so freaking cute. But for Camp Weekend-ween, I'm thinking I might read the book That Weekend by Kara Thomas because not only have I been wanting to read this book for a while, but when I was recently watching Elias, he's one of my favorite booktubers, I was watching his channel and he was saying how much he loved this book, and this author previously wrote The Cheerleaders, which ended up being one of my like favorite young adult thrillers that I've ever read, and this one just looks like it would be very fitting for this readathon. I mean, it literally has weekend in the title, so I was like, how cool is that? Yeah, so the premise on this one is talking about it's three best friends, a lake house, a secret trip, what could go wrong? It was supposed to be the perfect prom weekend getaway, but it's clear something terrible happened when Claire wakes up alone and bloodied on a hiking trail with no memory of the past 48 hours. It just sounds like it would be like the perfect, quick, you know, spooky read for that readathon, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to be reading That Weekend for sure during Camp Weekend-ween. But that would be great, you know, if I could do like another novella like Nothing But Blackened Teeth for that readathon. I wanted to read The Woods Are Always Watching, the Stephanie Perkins new book, because I also thought that would be kind of perfect for like the campy, like woodsy atmosphere, but I've been seeing some really terrible reviews for that one, so like if you've read that book, I guess just let me know if it's worth reading, because I don't want to like read something that I'm gonna hate during that readathon. And like, you know, I wasn't a huge fan of There's Someone Inside Your House by that author, so like I don't know if I'm planning on reading that one, honestly. But there's also a novella called The Tent by Keelan Patrick Burke, and he is the author of like Sour Candy and Blanky. Like I've read a few of his novellas, and so The Tent is another one of his novellas that I'm curious about, because it also seems like it would be perfect to read for like a camp themed readathon, you know? So I might be checking that out as well. I have so many things that I'm looking forward to reading, and I'm so excited for Camp Weekend-ween. I just think it's going to be so much fun. If you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about every time that I say that, if you didn't know, me and Olivia, my co-host, we announced that we're doing a Camp Weekend-ween readathon the weekend of Halloween. So I'll leave the link down below for more information if you do, like, if that sounds interesting to you and you want to participate with us. All the information will be linked down below. And also, if you didn't know, the amazing Murphy over from Novel Wicks, she made these candles called Camp Weekend-ween, and the scent on these is s'mores and suspense, and she sent me both sizes. She has both of these sizes available in her Etsy shop, and they're very fairly priced, by the way, and they smell amazing. Oh my god, they smell like a real campfire, and look at how cool it is. It's so like glittery and like orange and brown. It's just so cool, and it just smells absolutely freaking phenomenal. This smells like I'm straight up like next to a campfire and making s'mores, and it just makes me happy. But yeah, I will have her Etsy shop linked down below. These are actually very fairly priced in my opinion, and if you use Olivia's rep code, I think it's Olivia10, you can get 10% off your order and support a small business, so that's cool. I also wanted to show you that my friend Fab made these really cute camp weekend bracelets, and she made them all the colors that will match like the shirts that we were selling and stuff, so that's also really cool. And so I'll also have her Etsy shop linked down below. I'm just so honored that, you know, some of these like small businesses want to work with me and Olivia and create Camp Weekend-ween stuff. Like that's just so freaking cool and so kind. Both of the Etsy shops will be linked down below if you wanted to check those out. And yeah, I'm so excited for this month. It's October! Let's get spooky, bitch. That is all for this video. Please let me know if you are planning on participating in Camp Weekend-ween this year, and let me know what you're planning on reading for that readathon. Also, let me know if you're planning on joining us for the horror book recommendations live show this month. There's just so much to look forward to in the month of October, and I am genuinely so freaking hyped. I'm so excited for all of the things. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye.